Hello everyone, welcome to the show. My name is Amanda Ostrander. I am a teacher turned homeschool mom, and this is True North Homeschool, a place where we talk about all things homeschooling. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how to not get overwhelmed when we're starting homeschooling for the first time. If you're homeschooling for the very first time, this is the video for you. I am a former public school and private school teacher teaching elementary school, and I ended up starting homeschooling my kids 8 years ago, and we have never looked back. I currently have a kid going into 4th grade and 6th grade, and I know what it's like to be homeschooling for the first time and how overwhelming it can feel. The wonderful thing about homeschooling is you can make it fit your family, and there are so many amazing options out there. Homeschooling is a great journey, but it can be very difficult because there's no specific roadmap. With every family being unique and having different values and faith systems and expectations and needs and interests, like every family is unique, every family is different, and that means everyone is going to have a different approach. And my personal pet peeve is when you talk to experienced homeschoolers, they are all going to tell you exactly that and not actually give you practical advice. And I've told so many people we need to stop doing this. It is not helping anybody. It's not helping our cause. We need to help newcomers with real, tangible, practical advice. And that's what you're going to find in this video. So if you're homeschooling for the first time, here are things that I recommend you do immediately. Number 1, breathe. It can be overwhelming. It can feel like there are so many options. The wonderful thing, especially post-COVID, is that there are so many awesome curriculum options out there. Homeschooling really has exploded. The overwhelming thing is now there are so many options, and it's hard to know what to do, what to pick, where to put your money. I understand. It can feel very overwhelming. Rather than telling you to what to research and what to buy, take a little bit of time. Yes, do some research, but I do recommend 2 books if you are starting to homeschool for the first time. The first is Dumbing Us Down by John Taylor Gatto. This is a phenomenal book. It is really big in the homeschooling sectors, but essentially it's talking about what school is and the purpose of school, and so that you can see where those systems exist and you can decide if you want to continue those systems, right? So if you are moving to homeschooling, this is a great book to start you on the journey of really understanding what school is and maybe some of the things you want to have in your school and some of the things you might not want to have in your school. The other amazing book that I recommend to everybody who's homeschooling, first thing I always recommend, is The Brave Learner. This is written by Julie Bogart, who is the founder of the Brave Writer homeschool curriculum program. This is a phenomenal book. She homeschooled all of her kids. She homeschooled for 20 something years. She runs what I consider one of the greatest homeschool curriculum, language arts curriculum companies out there. Phenomenal. And this book is just chock full of very usable, very tangible advice on what homeschooling can look like when it doesn't look like school. And it's phenomenal. So breathe, do a little research, do a little reading, take your time. It's going to be okay. That's number 1 if you're new to homeschooling. Number 2, you want to find out what your local rules are. And by local, I mean your province or your state. Homeschooling is 100% legal in all of the United States and in Canada. Okay? It doesn't matter where you live. Homeschooling is legal. What rules you have to follow vary from state to state, province to province. Okay? I'm in Ontario. Ontario and New Brunswick have arguably some of the most lax homeschooling rules in existence. If your kids have never been to school, there's nothing you need to do. If they have been to school, you send a letter saying you're going to homeschool them, and that's it. Which is shocking because right next door we have Quebec that has some of the strictest homeschool rules, including annual reports, meeting with people, there's lots of things. So the first thing you want to do is figure out exactly what the rules are for your province or your state, wherever you're living, because you want to make sure that you're following those, because you don't want to get in trouble. Figure out what your rules are so that you know what you need to submit, if you have to submit, if your kids have to do testing, whatever it is. And get on that, because that's, the first step. My next tip, number 3, if you're starting homeschool for the first time, keep it simple. Your first month of homeschooling, keep it as simple and as easy as possible. This is going to be a big learning curve for you. It's going to be a big adjustment for your kids. Everybody is learning. Everybody is trying to figure out what this homeschool thing is and what it's going to look like for your family. Because everyone's different, what it's going to be for you is going to take a little bit of like finessing and figuring out. How long can my kids sit before they start to kind of get antsy? How long can my kids go before we need to have a snack? Do we need to start with a walk? Like there's going to be a little bit of like a figuring out period. Okay? That's very normal. Number 1. I recommend that most new homeschoolers spend the first month, 6 weeks, possibly 8 weeks, doing no more than 2 subjects. Like pick a math, pick a language, and start there. We can always add things in as we feel more comfortable and I feel more confident and like start to really see how our kids are learning. It's a lot harder to like pare back as a parent when you get overwhelmed. It just feels like too much. So start with something, start slow and start with, like I said, math and language. If you're like, I'm totally lost, I'm going to give you a couple top recommendations. Some of these are going to be religious. Some of them are going to be secular, but these are kind of the ones that I, as a homeschool coach, do recommend the most to most of my clients, or find that they end up picking. So let's start with math curriculums. Math UC is very popular, as is Master Books, which is Math Lessons for Living Education. The Good and the Beautiful for math is also really strong, particularly under grade 3. For both The Good and Beautiful, I find there's a big jump from grade 3 to 4, and people often switch out there. Saxon's Math, Dimensions Math, and Math with Confidence tend to be kind of my top recommendations for most people, especially if you're kind of doing elementary school. Okay. If your kids are a little bit older, I also recommend teaching textbooks for math. Okay. If you're looking for like really great language programs, if you want kind of workbook stuff, Spectrum has great reading, grammar, writing books. In terms of like cheap workbooks you can get off of Amazon, they're fantastic. The Good and the Beautiful is a great program if you're trying to like introduce some like writing and stuff. Again, under grade 3. I find a lot of people switch to something different after grade 3. Our personal favorite is Brave Writer. We love their reading program and we are doing the writing program. They're fantastic. If you're looking for like how to get your kids to read, if you're like teaching reading for the first time, All About Reading is one of the best reading programs out there. Also any program that is phonics focused would be kind of your goal. Don't have to pick those. Those are just kind of the ones that I recommend to my coaching clients the most. And if you want to book coaching time, head over to truenorthhomeschool.ca and you will find a spot where you can do some like coaching booking. I'll put a link down here for you. But there, you just got some advice for free. The next thing I would recommend if you're homeschooling for the first time, make a point to read every day. Read a book and read as a family. I think this is a great skill for families to get used to as a homeschooling family. Not just like sitting down and reading with one kid, like sitting down and all listening to the same story. And for a lot of people, especially if all your kids are really young, a picture book is great. But if you have kids at varying levels, there are tons of amazing novels out there that kids can start to listen to and build that skill. Reading a novel or reading a book with your kids is such a natural way to kind of like start your day. And it's a great leeway into when you're doing like more in-depth novel studies. So even if you're not doing a novel study, just reading a novel is a great way to start. If you have all younger kids, definitely picture books are the way to go. But once you kind of have a kid who's like grade 1, grade 2, maybe a little higher, like if you're getting into like the grade levels, I do recommend starting to get into like small novels. Novels that have maybe a couple of pictures, something like that. I always recommend reading a little bit, one level higher than what they're comfortable reading at. And once you kind of get into those grade 1, 2, 3, even though the kids are young and they maybe can't read the books themselves, they are ready to start handling bigger stories and more complicated and complex stories. And so a novel is a great way to kind of like start doing that and getting us into these realms where we can like, it's like a stepping stone to like future language learning. You know what I mean? And it just feels so comfortable and so natural to just start with reading a story. Number 5, don't try to make homeschool feel like school. If you have gone to school, this is something that is a struggle because you are going to want to do things like school in the beginning. You're going to want to make sure you have a language lesson, a math lesson, a science lesson, a history lesson, a geography, and an art and a social studies and like all of these things. And the thing is like that's not realistic. It's not going to be realistic for like 90% of families to do all of those things in a single day. I would say even like 95% of families. It's not going to happen. It is not realistic. And surprise, a lot of you guys don't realize this. That doesn't happen in the school system either. Science is taught twice a week. Social studies is taught twice a week. Health is once a week, if you're lucky. Hopefully it's not on a Friday because there's probably going to be a pep rally and it's going to get skipped anyway, right? So we have to make sure that we're not recreating school at home, okay? You don't need to do subjects every day. You can say, okay, we're doing math and language and we're just going to do one subject a day extra. You can do kind of a loop schedule where you go math, language, science, history. And once you're kind of, math, language, science, okay, we ran out of time. The next day you go history, math, language. Oh, ran out of time. Oh, science, math, language, like just kind of making a loop. Some people do like a partial loop where they do language and then loop the other subjects. Like you can do what works for you, but you don't have to do all the subjects every day. In fact, I'm going to tell you what I do. People are always shocked. I do 3, maybe 4 subjects a month. So we do language and math every day. And then I pick one other subject for the month. Our first subject is science this September. We're going to do like a forensic science unit. We just do science for a month. And then the next month I pick a new subject and we are going to do Canadian history for a month. Right? So, and then that's it. And then do art on top of that. But like, that's it. I'm not trying to get all those subjects in every single day or every week even. I'm rotating through them by the end of the year. We've covered everything, but I'm kind of spending time focusing on 1 or 2 subjects, and you can do that. You can take time and focus on certain things, and that's fine. You're making the homeschool that fits you and your kids. Number 6, if you're homeschooling for the first time, I really want you to take some time, especially in September, to seek out some community, because now is when the most community activities are going to be happening. Don't ask me why, but I do find, especially in Canada, and maybe it's the weather, we get a lot of activities in September, October, November, Christmas, leading up to Christmas. And then I find January, February, March really quiet in terms, like maybe that's just my area, but like that's what happens. And then April, things pick up a bit. And then May, June, there's lots of stuff. And then summer, everyone's done and off doing their own thing. So if you're looking for community, this first little bit of the school year is the best time to find it. Where do you find them? Facebook for your local area is probably one of my greatest resources. I find a lot of homeschool parents are on Facebook. So if you're looking for things like that, check that out. Look for co-ops. There are different kinds of co-ops. Some of them are like academic teaching co-ops. Some of them are just social co-ops where you just like get together on a weekly basis and the kids play. I'm in one of those. We love it. It's been one of the greatest things we've ever done. And it's very low cost. We don't have to teach anything. We just get together. Sometimes we bring a snack and we just like let the kids interact and socialize, and that's great. Another great place to find homeschool people is to actually sign up for a homeschool class. So whether, and I mean like a class during the day. So if you're looking for your people, look for homeschool classes, gymnastics, jiu-jitsu, art, science center days for homeschoolers, something like that, where you can go and get a day with your homeschoolers, because everybody there's homeschooling. So it's very easy to be like, oh, you homeschool, and sit down and chat with this mom. Oh, you homeschool, chat with this mom, and then your kids are seeing each other. And so it's a lot. I find like classes are like an undervalued place to find community. And actually classes is how I found most of my community in my area. So if you have the money, sign up for a homeschool class. It's phenomenal. That doesn't mean you can't sign up for other classes in the evening. We do some, but a during the day homeschool class can be invaluable when it comes to finding community. And finally, from a veteran homeschool parent to somebody who's starting for the first time, the last piece of advice I have is to be realistic. I know maybe I'm guilty of it too, but we love to put out like how calm and peaceful and wonderful our days are as homeschool parents. Trust me, I get it. Do I like to sometimes brag online on social media that like I'm chilling here having a little hot drink in the morning while my kids are like doing their math and it's like 10 o'clock and we didn't have to rush for the school bus? Yes, I do. Is that realistic every day? No, it's not. I love social media, but I also know that a lot of it is not realistic. It's curated, right? We're putting out our best moments, our favorite moments, the things that have made us the happiest or most excited. The reality is like, even though social media makes homeschooling look beautiful and peaceful and every activity is so much fun and so engaging, that's not the reality. The reality is it's a lot of like repetition. It's a lot of like boring days. It's, I always joke around that like the best thing about homeschooling is that when you can have boring days, when you have lots of boring days, it means you're probably actually getting through and doing the most like actual learning. Because as much as like I wish that every book was like life-changing, it's not going to happen. I wish every math lesson was like a light bulb moment. It's not going to happen, right? So be realistic that like, while we do want our kids to be excited and to be engaged in what we're learning and teaching them, that's not going to be the case all the time. Sometimes you just have to suck it up and learn your math facts. Sometimes you have to like just suck it up and like put the capitals at the beginning of sentences, even if you don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, it's not always going to be days where everyone's like happy and thrilled. There are going to be tears. There's going to be days where people are fighting and angry. There's going to be days where it's just like it's just not working out. And that's okay. Because let me tell you, that happens in schools too. I can't tell you the number of kids that I've had to tell, like, okay, we don't need to cry over capital letters anymore, because it happens in schools too. So, you just don't get to witness it because someone else is dealing with it, right? While we love our kids and we want them to have a great education, it's not always going to be this wonderful, mind-blowing, life-changing, beautiful moment. Sometimes it's just repetitious and boring, and that's okay. Okay? So be realistic, start slow, don't make it like school, find your community, and you'll probably have a pretty decent school year. So yeah, breathe. You've got this. Homeschooling has been happening for hundreds of years. It just looks different. And like I said, it's going to look different for everybody. But if you really want it to be something that's going to work for your family, it's going to be a journey. And that's okay. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was inspiring, and so I hope it was helpful for so many of you guys who are homeschooling for the first time. If you are excited and want to hear more content like this, make sure you subscribe and click the bell to get notifications so that you know when we have more videos. Consider becoming a member of the Happy Homeschool Club, which is our membership here on YouTube, where you get extra videos, bonus content, coupons, cool stuff like that. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Handle is True North Homeschool CA. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.